This is where it all begins. The journey to become racing's ultimate champion starts with the biggest race of the year. Right here at NASCAR's most decorated and hallowed roads. Its beauty can often be overshadowed by its fierce intimidation. But if you can conquer this masterpiece, you will forever be remembered in racing lore.
Am I dreaming right now?
History has already been made leading up to this race. Who will make history today? It's 500 grueling miles, unsettling speeds, inches away from disaster, where anyone's dream can end at any second. But one driver will persevere and celebrate a moment that is etched in racing history. This is the Great American Race. This is the Daytona 500, right now on Fox.
Welcome to Race 1 of Season 1 of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here on NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Much anticipation always surrounds this race, and for the entire offseason, these teams that are racing today have worked 110% and are ready to give it all today in order to win this illustrious race. Bravery, determination, grit, and a tad bit of luck are what's required here. This is NASCAR Super Bowl. This is NASCAR's World Series. This is NASCAR's Daytona 500. In today's race, it will be a 30-lap race with a pit window of between lap 10 to lap 15, and there's a small chance that one more pit stop may be required before it's all said and done. 3 keys to winning here at Daytona: utilize the draft. You cannot do it alone. 2, watch the water temperature. It'll rise quickly. And 3, fear the big one. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And this Daytona 500 is presented by Quaker State Motor Oil and by Mechanics Wear Gloves. Alright, and as they start to pull off of pit road, we will go through the field today to show you who's going to be starting this year's Daytona 500. Will actually start in the rear of the field with the 57 car of Robert Ryder in that Ford. In row 2, driving the 78 Chevy Furniture Row, it is Kurt Busch, followed by Jeff Burton in the 31 Caterpillar Chevy. In row 20, we have David Ruderman in that 83, followed by Juan Pablo Montoya in the Target Chevy. After him, we got Joey Logano in the 22. We also have Marcus Ambrose in the 9 car. A row ahead, we got the 15 car, that blue car, the Peak Motor Oil Toyota, and that is driven by Clint Boyer. Next to him, we have Eric Almirola in the 43. Then we have Gary Dubia in the 49 car, followed by David Stremme in the 30 next to him. And ahead of him, we have the 51 of Regan Smith, followed by David Reagan in the 34. Kevin Harvick in the 29 side, on the side of number 90, Matt Thompson. And we're going to actually go through the field a little bit faster here. We got Jeff Gordon next to Tony Raines in the 96, followed by Jeff Lindberry Sr. in the 4. Ricky Stenhouse in the 17, Twisted in the 60, and then we have Eric McClure on the pole, and starting beside him on pole is Max Pappas. So this should be an interesting race. They're starting to come up to the green flag. We're going to be going green here. And green flag is out. And now as they dive down into turn 1, they're going to be trying to gain their speed here. The majority of them will stay in 2 rows through these 2 turns. Matt Kenseth there in that bottom line in the 20. All right, now on the backstretch, who's going to pull out first? We have everybody staying single file, as we can tell. And we got the 32 car back there pulling up. Followed by the 39. He's going to move into the middle as well. And Eric McClure is going to lead the first lap, followed by Matt Kenseth in second. And we got Michael Waltrip, who's being shoved into the middle in third place right now. He's in 3 wide between the 72 and the 77 car, and we got some shuffling back there in the pack, I can see. Now they're starting to pull 3 wide. We're going to go back a little bit. Jimmy Johnson there in fourth, excuse me. Look at them spread out all in the middle there. They're 3 wide pretty much all the way back to, I want to say, the rear end of the field. Max Pappas, who started on the outside pole, he has fallen drastically back actually. I want to say he's probably fallen back to 10th. That's probably because of the high line. The high line doesn't really work here with these sprint cars. The bottom line is mainly the preferred line, and then the high line is preferred on the backstretch. Carl Edwards there in the Aflac car. He's going to try to get underneath 77. He's going to be able to do it. It's 36 of Dave Blaney there behind 77. Up on the high side is getting pushed back even further. We got moves in the back. I can see Joey Logano move down in between, or right behind the 13, and the 13 is actually trying to make a move in between Clint Boyer there, and try and pull up between Eric Almirola and the 43. We got a battle for the lead. Here's the 72 went past Eric McClure, and now the bottom line, led by Greg Biffle, is actually going to move past Eric McClure. Eric McClure is going to try to hold it with Jimmy Johnson behind him. Eric McClure is probably going to be able to swoop down and get right in front of Greg Biffle there and be able to hold the bottom line. No, Greg Biffle looks like he's going to be able to have his nose in there. Greg Biffle is going to move into the middle line with no help. That's going to hurt him really bad, as Landon Castle is now the leader of the bottom line. And as I say that, Eric McClure is going to dive down to the bottom and try to get underneath the 72. 72 is about to shut the door. And 72 is actually not going to be able to do that. He pushes back up in the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson is stuck up there in high line. Michael Waltrip is actually going to get shoved into third, into the high line there. We got a guy rubbing the wall right now. That is Max Pappas of the 23 car. He was rubbing the wall. He seems to be all right. He's not falling off the pace. He lost a few spots there because of that, but now he's stuck up on the very, very high side. Stuck up in the third groove. We'll move up to the front of the field now because they're starting to pull 3 wide again up front. Landon Castle making a move on Jimmy Johnson. That is for 4th place. And we got Ricky Craven leading the middle line. If Jimmy Johnson stays there, Ricky Craven could probably draft off of him and push him up front. Remember, they're going to have to watch the water temperatures here. Staying behind these cars the way they are is not good for the radiator at all. You can't stay behind a car really, really close for more than, I want to say, 2 to 3 laps. Matt Kenseth on the high side. Will Landon Castle be able to get underneath him? Yes, he will. Let's see if he's able to complete the pass. A 72 car is still leading as Eric McClure is going to get help from Matt Kenseth up on the high side. He's going to try to pass him on the high line. He's got majority of the help up there, as Landon Castle is not close enough to 72 to make a difference, but the 81 is not able to clear him into the turn. The 72 has the better line on the bottom line to be able to make a pass. Oh, Michael Waltrip back there in the 26 looked like he got loose coming off that corner. He's right behind Twisted, as Twisted's going to move up into the high line, right behind Ricky Craven in the 32 tied. Oh, there was touch. There was contact between Twisted and the 32 to 32. The 60 of Twisted must have clipped the rear end of the 32 to 32, came down and almost slammed into the 65. And the 12 of Sam Hornish Jr. is going to get caught up in the high line now, right behind Jimmy Johnson. He's going to start to fall back as Michael Waltrip stuck up there too with the 77, a few rows behind. Eric McClure is now back in the lead. He's trying to make that car 3 lanes wide. Do you see that? We got 2 packs starting to form here. We'll push back into the rear end of the field. 72 is actually going to pass the 81. Eric McClure now into the lead. And Matt Kenseth is going to try to shoot for the bottom. But let us show you... Oh, Kurt Busch is off the pace by a lot here. There must be something wrong with his car there. Jeff Gordon's fallen way back. He started in the middle of the pack. So has Marcus Ambrose, actually. Marcus Ambrose started, I think, in row 19, and he's fallen back. 57 there of Robert Ryder. And they might end up going single file to try to draft to gain back up to the lead pack. This is a great shot of the 3-wide action that we will see all day here. Moving back up to the front of the field now where the 72 is still in the lead. And he's got Josh Wise behind him and I believe the 35 car there. And Clint Boyer is going to try to make a move on the bottom line. Underneath the 35, Carl Edwards is going to stay up high and try to draft off of Josh Wise and push him up there. Carl Edwards is going to think better of it and he's going to drop to the bottom. So Josh Wise is going to lose 2 spots in 2 turns. And Joey Logano has moved his way up the field. He's now, and I want to say 5th right now. He's going to dive down behind Carl Edwards and let's see if Carl Edwards can make a push. Still 3 wide for the majority of this pack. Max Pappas seems like he's been able to make that high line work there. Oh, and he's, as I say, he's starting to slip up and fall back now. Josh Wise is going to push up right in front of Max Pappas. The top 4 cars seem to have been pulling away from the majority of this pack. It's probably because they were single file for, I want to say, half a lap there, which, as you can see, gained them enough spots, but now they're coming back with the 49 in front of the 84 of Margot, Andy Margot, and 36 of Dave Blaney's right there, as we got the 13 of James Malik with his teammate Twisted right behind him. The other teammate to those 2 is the 81 of Eric McClure. He's up on the high side right now, right in front of Kevin Harvick. I don't know if you can see that. We'll actually push back to him. Yes, there he is. Eric McClure right there on the high side. He's in a very dangerous spot. If something happens, he will be trapped up there. There's nowhere to go. I mean, he's got 2 lanes below him, and then he's got the wall right near him. He would basically become a victim. As you can see, the rear end of the field back there is still struggling to try to catch this field. Everybody's starting to try to push down to the middle lanes. Eric McClure is still up there on the high side. And oh, we got a spin. Someone's around. The 13 is around, followed by Twisted, and he's going to collect the majority of the cars. Eric McClure is able to get by it. And we got cars pulling in a pit road. The 96 gets slammed by Matt Thompson. The 90, the 84 of Andy Margot is going to get clipped as well. Ricky Stenhouse looks like he has rear end damage. 26 of Michael Waltrip got involved. That's terrible for Michael Waltrip. Rear end damage. He's only going to be starting a few races this year. He's not going to be in every race as they're going to drive through the dirt here. A lot of them seem to have damage. That was bad. race to the finish, or I mean race to the yellow line there. I'm not sure who is now leading under caution. Push up the front. And it's the 49, followed by the 99, followed by the 15, the 65, and now Eric McClure, who somehow got his way through there, is now in 5th. We'll go back and show you the replay, but I believe they're going to pit here. We are in our pit window. It is lap 11. And our pit window is between 10 and 15, if you remember from the pre-race. Tony Stewart's car seems to be alright, and there's Twisted, who had, I saw, right side damage on his 60 car. Matt Thompson's got a lot of front end damage. It's going to take a long time to fix. Kevin Harvick back there, I can see, has a lot of damage. So is Eric Almirola and Juan Pablo. Wow, a lot of good cars. A lot of good cars were involved. But yes, they are going to pit, and we will see. Oh, the 15 and 99 stayed out, and we will see what the 65 and 81 will do here. He seems to be taking right side tires. He might be taking 4. The 96 is going to get damage repaired plus tires. 24 is, I think, just took a pit stop. Oh no, he's actually pulling in right now. We'll be able to see what he's going to do. He's got a lot of damage to repair, but oh, he's actually went behind the wall. So that's a lot of damage. Hopefully he can come back and somehow get some kind of points from it. 60 car getting damage repaired, pulling off. The 13, James Malik, who's his teammate, right in front of him, starting to come off. 57 is also going to pull off. They all seem to be taking right side tires, and if I'm not mistaken, a lot of them took 4 as well. Coming off of pit road, the leader is the 49 off of pit road, but we have Carl Edwards in the lead right now, followed by Clint Boyer. These two cars didn't pit, and I want to say the 77 on back to the 20 there, last car in line, went into pit road right as that wreck was occurring, which might yield them a penalty. It yielded them a time penalty on the track, which will cycle out and probably hurt them position-wise. We'll be able to see that in the replay to see if they did, in fact, go into pit road while pit road was closed, because as soon as an accident happens, you got to wait a lap until everything's sorted out where pit road can be open and it's safe for you to pull down there. We'll see, though. There's a light there, and the light flashes green if you can go in and red if you can't. All right, so the guys who stayed out are actually going to pull in. So Carl Edwards got a bonus 5 points there for leading the lap. 72 is going to stay up with Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth. Let's see what the 99 is going to take. He doesn't seem to have any damage. I don't think he was involved at all in that wreck. Neither was Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer, I remember, was up at front. Sam Morris Jr. we just passed. He was sitting there probably getting damage repaired. 99 is going to pull into a pit stall. And he's taking right sides. 77, 2 stalls behind him, is also taking right side tires. We'll see if either of them takes 4. Nope, the 99 is going to take 2. And then we'll see what the 77 is going to do. 77 has a lot of damage, so he's going to take time getting repaired. So does Sam Hornish and David Stremme. All right, let's take a look at the replay to see what happened. All right, so here's the replay. As you can see, the 13 is getting pushed by his teammate Twisted, and Greg Biffle's right behind him. And we can see them spread out right in front of the 13. Not a good angle. Can't really tell what happened there. As you can see, they're all spinning. Wow, look at that massive accident. 39 took a really hard hit. He almost flipped over. I can see a 35, Josh Wise, Ricky Craven. Jeff Gordon did get a piece of that. And 13 pulls in. And by the way, he has the 33 pit stall only because I have not been able to readjust the pit stalls just yet. I haven't repainted them, but just ignore that. But, yeah, we'll have to take another glance at that at a different angle. All right. This is the roof cam of the 60 Verizon car. We're going to see what happens here. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm pretty sure what happens is the cars in front of him, in front of the 13 of James Malik, check up, and Boyer up top is a clear indication of this because he pushes up to the high line, And he wasn't going to go 3 wide. So a good indication that they were going to pit is him pushing up, allowing room for them to pit. But I guess Twisted didn't see that, and now the teammate of his is unfortunately a victim in all this. Let's let it play. Yeah, as you can see, they all slowed down, and he didn't check up in time. Slammed right into his teammate. And we actually have another angle here on the 36 of J.J. Yaley. I've been saying Dave Blaney, and that is my fault, but this car this year is being driven by J.J. Yaley, the 36. But anyway, this is the rear bumper camera, and we'll be able to see how the 13 reacted to cause this. To cause the 16 or the 60 to run into him. We'll let it play here. And mentioning the light earlier, this is what happens when an accident occurs and yellow comes out. The light turns red, and it means pit road is closed. You cannot come down pit road, and as you can see, here they come down pit road. So I believe that they received a time penalty, and I think it's like 10 or 20 seconds, but they ended up staying longer in their pits. But yeah, this just shows that what was that, about 15 cars that went down and 15 cars got penalized. And when you can come down pit road, it turns green. So that's just proving my point that I think it wasn't because they were avoiding the wreck. They were already coming down pit road anyway, but I think they were just so committed to hitting pit road that once the light came out, they were still going. So they received the penalty, and just keep an eye on the lights. And we get a helicopter view here of Landon Castle in the middle there, and we'll see how the pack, or what happened in the pack after the wreck occurred in front of them. And as the wreck's occurring, the 5 gets clipped by the 34 of David Reagan. 31 Jeff Burns is going to come and slam into Eric Almirola, as so does the 9 of Mark Samerson, the 39 of Ryan Newman. They both slam into them because they're all checking up. And I believe he got slammed by the 24, but that's what caused the 39 to get a little airborne there. Thank God he didn't roll over, though. That would have damaged the car a lot more. Plus, hurt him, actually. But yeah, the 39, I think, is behind the wall right now. But we will take you back to the restart. I actually have one more camera angle before we head back to the race. This is on board of Eric McClure on the high side. We'll see how he gets through this. It's actually really amazing. And after that, we will be back after this short commercial break, and we will take you right to the restart. Next week, we race. In the desert. Phoenix International Raceway. And we're back just in time for the restart. The 72 of Steve Pierce is leading, followed by Joey Logano, who impressively is now in second after starting in row 20, I believe. That's basically 40th to 42nd position, 41st position, around that area. And Eric McClure is back there in 5th. And the 78 is going to pit again. He's been having problems with his car all day long. I believe he's either a lap or 2 laps down now. Lap 17 underway here. It's going to take a little bit longer for them to gather up speed than it did when they started this race because they're in single file. Eric McClure is making a move underneath the 49 of Dubia. And he might be able to take 4th spot away. And the 78 is actually taking tires. He must have missed that last pit. And the 20 is going to make a drastic move underneath Joey Logano. The 81 looked like he was going to go with him, but he must have just tricked the 20. Now he's going underneath the 20, making it 3 wide. 20 is not there underneath the 22, so it's not too wide, but the 81 might be able to pick up 2 spots here from the backstretch to the end of turn 4. He might be able to clear him, as the 49 Dubia is going to push right underneath the open door there. Kevin Harvick's going to try to make a move underneath Max Pappas in the 23 there. Eric McClure has moved up to second. Now solidified the spot. Tony Stewart has moved up quite a bit. He is now in 6th. .49 of Dubia is actually making a move now underneath Pierce, and Pierce is going to actually be stuck up on the high line, as the 14 is now going to be able to move underneath him and try to take 3rd spot away, as he's got a lot of help in the form of Max Pappas, followed by, I want to say, is that the 51 there? Yes, it is, of Regan Smith, followed by the 36 of J.J. Yaley. Greg Biffle's going to move into the bottom line there. The 60 car Twisted is moving back there 3 wide now, with Dave Blaney actually not 3 wide or 2 wide. Joey Logano looks like he's trying to make a move around the 72 of Pierce. Pierce is now going to fall in the line as Dubia is going to take second. Tony Stewart's still there underneath Pierce. 23 Max Pappas is going to make a move underneath the 14. 3 wide now. And Joey Logano's going to get the worst end of that. Joey Logano is going to probably lose about 4 or 5 spots here. Max Pappas is now up to 4th. Regan Smith looks like he's trying to open the door underneath him. Not going to be able to do it. Eric McClure is still in the lead. They're single file back there as Carl Edwards has just made a move underneath the 4 of Lindberry Sr. Kane is going to move in and be able to take that spot right away. James Malik seems to be running all right, as the 99 is going to start to make a move on him. The 13, who was involved in that last wreck, doesn't seem to be hindered by it that much. I don't even really see that much damage. Must have just been cosmetic, and they fixed it up pretty well. 99 is going to fall right behind David Reagan. 72 is going to push, or the 22 is going to push down underneath 65. Try to get behind Tony Stewart in the bottom lane. Is 36 going to be able to make it 3 wide here? Yes, he is. Regan Smith in the middle with Max Pappas on the high side. Eric McClure has put a good amount of distance on them. That's not the position he really wants to be in. And we will be able to pull up a leaderboard for you here. Max Pappas, last recorded in 2nd, is now going to be probably recorded in like 10th. 3 wide again, Regan Smith. Losing spots. But the 81 is not going to want to be there when the last lap comes. He doesn't want to be that far ahead, because they're going to have a head of steam as they're running into turn 3, and they're probably going to overtake him to win this race. Top 4 has now folded into single file. Probably top 5 now is the 98 of Jerry LePage. Is going to round out the top 5. 72, who restarted at first, is now getting shuffled back into the high line. Dubia is going to make a move underneath Matt Kenseth. Joey Logano's trying to push his way back up. He's got no help, though, as Max Papis is not even going to bother to help him. He was going to push up, and now he's coming back down. He's got no choice. Pierce is going to be stuck up on the high line. JJ Yaley looks to be getting aggressive here, or it could just be the 20 all over the rear end of him, making him jump around like he is. And Matt Kenseth is going to push down underneath him to try to take the second place away from him. As you can see, there's a good amount of cars a lap down. Sam Hornish Jr. is 1 lap down, which leads me to believe he's still on the track. The 90 car is 8 laps down, so I believe he's off the track right now due to that accident. And so is the 39. Yep, they're all gaining laps down, so they're behind the wall. Oh, they're coming up on lap traffic of the 78. See how they're able to handle this. And the leaders get around him pretty well. If the 65 is going to get stuck behind him and nobody's going to want to be behind him. The 20 looks like he got stuck because the 78 is going to push up. I don't know why the 78 is getting in the way like that. Matt Kenseth and the 65 car are now going to be held up. And the 14 is going to get stuck. Max Papis trying to move up. Single file, actually not single file, as the 98 is going to break that pattern and get underneath the 36 of JJ Yaley. Jerry LePage in second place, followed by Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards doesn't have any help, though, as JJ Yaley is going to try to be able to help the 98. 81 Eric McClure is still got, I want to say, 3 car lengths ahead of second place. That's pretty impressive, being alone with no help. I got more lap down cars in front of them. See how they handle it. They're starting to pull off for pit road here. And we will look at the drivers on pit road in a second, but as we can see, the leaders are getting hung up on these lap cars. The 81 is able to clear himself, and that's going to take the 98, Jerry LePage, Max Papis, Greg Biffle, and Matt Kenseth away from the top line. Now they're going to be dramatically pushed back as they might fall into single line, into single file as they are doing right now. These guys look to be pitting. They might be pitting this time by. I just saw a few cars go in. We were not sure if they were going to be able to make it on one pit stop. As we can see, they're not able to. And they seem to be alright, as we do got cars in the back there pulling off. Get the 65. And then we got Casey Kane. Let's see what Matt Kenseth does. Matt Kenseth taking off. Let's see if he can somehow get a good pit stop to improve his track position. They don't seem to be taking any tires. They're probably just taking fuel to end the race. Kane's going to get off before the 20. 20's still stuck, and there he goes. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. There's Jimmy Johnson pulling on pit road. He's got a lot of damage as well, probably from the previous wreck, and so does the 07 in front of him. They are both taking gas, and they both are able to take off at the same time. That's going to help them both out with drafting. Here comes Eric McClure and the leaders down the pit road. We got Carl Edwards behind him. And Carl Edwards is going to pull into his pit stall. Eric McClure has the very first pit stall. It's a great advantage for him. Let's see what he takes. I believe this is an all-fuel run. Everybody's taking fuel. And he's able to get out right in front of Carl Edwards. 51 of Regan Smith's having a great run today. In third place there, right behind Carl Edwards. There are going to be 2 laps to go when they hit the start-finish line this time by. Cars from that previous pit stop are now being shown in the top 10, so they have now cycled through. The 72 should be marked in 4th place. Eric McClure's got an extensive lead over the 99. As you can see, 72 followed by Joey Logano right there. They're pulling in the picture. They got a lot more speed, but they're probably going to get hung up, and by the time they all merge together, they'll all have the exact same speed. 2 laps to go this time by. If Eric McClure is going to do this, this is the time to do it. Not to have any mess-ups, because if he messes up and holds them up, you're going to end up with a pack behind you instead of just 4 cars riding you. Carl Edwards is getting pushed by Pierce, and Pierce is going to make a move underneath Carl Edwards. I don't know if that's the right move to do. It's a little bit too early to be doing that. And he's not able to open the door, as Carl Edwards is still going to be there in a second. Joey Logano there in 5th. J.J. Ely in 6th. Tony Stewart's cracked the top 10 after the pit stops. Pierce is going to try it again underneath the 99, and this time he's able to open the door. The white flag is out. The last lap of this race, Eric McClure in a good spot. If he can keep those 2 side-by-side behind him, they won't be able to pass him. Side-by-side slows you down more than it does being by yourself. And they are actually staying side-by-side. If they can stay like that, Eric McClure's got a shot. You can see him already starting to pull away from these 2. Joey Logano might be able to break it, as Regan Smith's going to go under his 22 and actually stall out the progress. He's going to stall out the progress, and Eric McClure seems to have a wide open advantage. The 99's able to break away, but I don't know if he's got time to do it. If he's got it, he's making a run and making a huge run as the 72's right up behind him. Will the 99 be able to get to him? Pierce is going to go under 99. 81 of Eric McClure has won the Daytona 500, followed by Carl Edwards in 2nd. What a close finish for 2nd. My God, what an amazing finish to this great race. The 81 has done it. Started on the pole and has won the Daytona 500. That rookie Eric McClure in the 81 just coming up from the Nationwide Series. What an amazing finish. I'm at a loss for words for how hard Carl Edwards and Pierce fought for the 2nd place spot. What an amazing race. Following an amazing finish, here are the results. We had 1 caution flag that lasted 4 laps. We had 7 lead changes between 4 drivers. The record here, I believe, is around 16, 17 drivers. I'm not too sure. I'd have to see. And as you can see, Eric McClure had won this race. He started on the pole, led 19 laps, led the most laps, which means he's going to get an extra 5 bonus points, plus the regular 5 bonus points for leading a lap. So he's actually 10 points. He has actually gained 10 points as bonus. Carl Edwards, who started in 4th, has now finished 2nd. Pierce, who started in 9th, finished 3rd. Talk about a great run for Regan Smith, and not just Regan Smith, but Joey Logano. You can see they both started in the 30s. Regan Smith starting 32nd, and Joey Logano starting 38. Both had top 5 finishes. That's great for them. Really great for them. Matt Kenseth ends up finishing 8th after, I want to say, a solid performance, but the only problem was he got held up by lap cars. I think he could have been a contender right there at the end. As we go down, Dubia was able to lead a lap. He'll gain 5 points and actually put himself in the 14th spot in the points. Great run for Kurt Busch, actually, as we saw him having to take pits and stuff. He actually, probably because of the cars were off the track, but starting 42nd and finishing 19th. And look at Rob Ryder, who started 43rd, very dead last, is going to finish 18th. That's solid. To be able to start there and finish there, that's solid. And poor day for David Corral. He started 3rd and ends up finishing 27th. he was still running, so he wasn't wrecked out. For the cars that were wrecked out right here at the end, Matt Thompson, Juan Pablo, Travis Kvapoulas. You can read the list for yourself, but yep, I want to say on lap, 10 or 11, these guys end up wrecking out. Poor run for Ryan Newman, who started 8th, and he's gonna get marked as finishing last. But all in all, this was a great Daytona 500. What a finish. And next week, looking forward to Phoenix International Raceway. See you then.